What's happening, Shredder Nation? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to episode number 44 of Shred Your Body. I'm your host, Jesse James Jamnik. Tonight, like every other week, I'm jacked up. I'm jazzed up. I get to bring back a very, very good friend of mine, basically somebody that I've been able to just build a relationship with over the last 6+ years. She's my sister from another mister. Her and I literally vibe on the same wavelength when it comes to dealing with people, helping people with their health and nutrition. Our vision is for the long game. We're not here to play little rinky-dinky games with people. We're not here for the fad little trends. We have no time for that bullshit. And I love this woman to death. And tonight we're going to dive in deep with a little bit of the mindset of the ErShred. For those of you that are just starting a shred, which we launched yesterday, we'll dive into a little bit of tips and tricks with that. But really, I want to kind of get with the bigger picture, the long term. The ErShred, if you've not heard of it by now, it is, in my opinion, the most powerful empowerment health protocol that I have ever seen in all my years of doing this. Susan has doubled my years in this industry, and she says the same thing. It is just absolutely bonkers what it's doing for people of all walks of life, whether you're older or younger or athletic or non-athletic. It is the most beautiful, simplistic thing that you have ever tried. Like, you have not tried anything like this. I guarantee you. I thought I was healthy, and I was, and now I feel like I'm even two more notches as I get ready to turn 42 years old. It doesn't feel like that. So I'm going to stop wasting time. I'm going to shut my mouth, bring in my sister from another mister. What's happening, Susan?
Hey, Jesse, what's up? Yeah,
Welcome back. Welcome back to Shred Your Body.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited.
So I still want to celebrate. Shred Your Body was the very first time that Susan Rothman decided to go live. And I still feel very honored that you decided to do that with me, and we broke you out of your shell.
Yeah, I came alive. And, I mean, it's almost a year now, and I'm watching. It just keeps getting better. Keeps getting better and hitting every marker of how we define health. Yeah. Vibrancy, good mental outlook, gratitude, energy, clarity. I mean, plus the clinical changes that we're seeing.
Susan, let's start this off with a bang. I want you to make like a really powerful, like, first thing that comes to mind statement, okay? And no holds barred. You've been in this industry now for how many years? 40 years?
About 38.
38 years. Okay. So that is literally almost 4 decades of dealing with people, going through your own health transformation. I don't even know how many fads you've been a part of, or not been a part. I'm sorry, let me correct myself. Not been a part of, but have seen happen throughout the world. Low sugar, low fat, blah, 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 blah. In your personal opinion, and from what you've seen over the last year transpire with the ErShred, from your professional medical background, your personal thing of dealing with people, tell me the statement that you feel defines the ErShred. Like, what is it? What do you see with the ErShred?
It's everything, and so efficient. I mean, it's like you get your baseline, you eliminate all food culprits. You can literally, what hit me from day one was you can literally see people's inflammation leaving their body, even on the computer. So it's everything I've always wanted to do for people, teach them how, give them the tools to be well in their lives. And not only that, me and you agree with that, they're sticking. People are staying. And another thing that amazes me about this is we've coached people before, and we've had complaints about constipation or diarrhea and like, I got a headache, whatever. And on this, it's almost innate. It's almost innate that people know something is happening and they stick. Like with or without us, they know that for themselves. So I'm blown away by this, and the mental aspect as well.
Yeah, it's The more I think about this, and I love this because just so everybody knows, Susan and I have committed to every single month when we start a brand new shred, we're going to fly in on like the beginning, day 2, day 3, wherever we land on that first Tuesday. And we're going to, because Susan and I talk a lot. And we're always like, we got to get this information out to people. We got to get this information out to people. And there's only so much time. But our thing is, what's blown my mind, Susan, I know we've talked about this before, is between the both of us, I don't know how many thousands of hours have been invested in study. I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of dollars have been invested in self-development, classes, certifications, like you name it, right? Like all this. And I kind of like think to myself, I'm like, was I almost chasing the wrong carrot the entire time being fed this stuff? Because when I look back to what we're doing and all the things that are happening to people, I mean, not just the physical, but like you said, the mental, the cellular, like, I mean, it is mind-blowing to see what's going on with people. And it's almost like it's the simplest thing ever. And I feel like for 20 years, I've been trying to complicate something that is so simple based off of like, oh, this little bit can add this and that little bit can add that. And we're like, wait a minute. And you and I talk about this beautiful thing that we want to really make sure that we pound into people's heads. And what you want to share that with people, what our main message is that we really hope that people take and help us pass on to others.
I'm not sure what you're asking me. So
the simplicity factor of the shred. Like, I feel that all these years that we've learned and studied and we've done all these different ways. And now it's like we're both feeling the best we've ever felt. Mm-hmm. And I would say we've put a lot of time into this, and yet where I feel like what I'm doing now is the simplest thing ever compared to everything else that I've done over the years.
Well, we found our way home, and we're all just people. We buy into the myths, things that make sense at the time, the skewed science. And I know for me, I always, when I went through my health crisis and I was in victim mode. Yep. So I thought healing was extremely complicated. And what I found on my own journey is that it's really very simple. Sure. And we complicate it. And that's what we're seeing with the ErShred. I was thinking today, Jesse, one of my most powerful herbal mentors, probably one of the greatest herbalists in this country, Stephen Horn, he used to teach this approach, and it was called the ABC plus D approach to healing. And what he would say is, A is first you have to activate the mechanisms of healing. So activating could be walking in the grass, being in the sunlight, deep breathing, but enzymes, physical body, enzymes are the activator. And then B was build and balance. So I'm just laying this out because we have all the building blocks here. Yep. So B is build and balance. How do you bring the body so quickly and efficiently back to homeostasis? Well, I tried to do that my whole career. And, people would be on herbal programs, different dietary protocols for a few months. It took time before they got the results. And then with our fulfillment company, what we see with C, which is cleanse when appropriate, well, A and B, because of what we're using here, open up the pathways, the metabolic pathways for detoxification. So right in that ABC, activate, build, cleanse. And then this is what so cool about healing. Then you get to a baseline. And once you hit that baseline, let's say you had, and we see this every day in the group, aches and pains. For some people, it's allergies. Some people, it's arthritis. Some people, it's digestive. So I'm working with a guy now, we're shredding his anxiety. So they have these symptoms. Well, for a lot of people, once they get to that baseline, all of that clears. So then what are you left with? You get to figure out what's your greatest strength and what's your weakness. Yeah. So for me, when I had my health crisis, my nervous system was shot. I was in adrenal fatigue. My cortisol was 5. Well, I was focusing in on my digestive system. What I learned was my nervous system took out my digestive system. So over the years, I've fortified my nervous system to where it's no longer an issue. And the ErShred is the tracks. I hope I'm communicating how deep this is, because that ABC plus D, that ABC, that's why no, you can't have spinach. No, you can't have this. You can't have that. You can't have this, because we want you to get to this really, really clean place. And then you're going to be empowered to find out your story with food. And that's the journey we were on, Jesse. It was like this intuitive thing, always trying to find our story with food. But I have to say, like you, I have never felt better in my life.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. And it's crazy, you know, and it's almost like, it's just, I'm so excited. And honestly, like, if I'm being real, like, it aggravates the shit out of me at the same time, because it's like, my gosh, I was changing, you know, and I get it. Like, I've been down this road, which is why I love, you know, people are like, well, why you like, what's the thing? I'm like, when if it's how bad you can feel as a human, and then you don't. Yeah. And you're like, I've already been drawn to that thing in life and in science and people, and then it evolved into stuff. And that's what keeps this going so much, is because this is so complex, and it's so packed. It's literally like a superfood. Yeah. Like the reason why we do superfoods is because they're so dense, they're so bioavailable, they're so ready to go. And I feel like this is what the Shred's done for so many people. I have Gail Walker. We all know Gail, right? You know Gail. Look at her comment. She's like, I've been fat since she was a little girl. This is the first time I can eat and feel I am not depriving myself. I can eat and feel like I'm not depriving myself. I feel great sharing this with others. It's just so amazing. If I can not only lose weight, but feel healthy, anyone can. I get so excited when others want to do it, because I know it works. Gail, I feel you. I feel you. This is what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is it. And it's so cool, Susan, because, you know, for you and I, it's like, it's crazy, because over the years, we've watched people. I mean, we've struggled, and then we've been on this mission to help people. And through that time, we've watched them struggle and spend time and spend money and all this stuff, when really I'm beginning to think, like, holy crap, like, we got like, this is legit. When Bob says this is like magic in a bottle, this is like the definition of magic in a bottle for me. Is it coming more clear for you too? Like, the way it's so...
It's perfect, you know, and the deeper we go, the more we see. It's like anything in value in life, whether you're on a spiritual journey or self-development, you know, and then you get to this place where, like, oh yeah, that's the thing. Well, this is the thing. And then for me and you, we're at this place where now, okay, so if you don't want to listen to me, don't listen to me. I don't have time for this, because somebody over here wants to hear what I have to say. This works, you know, and to have that surety, that absolute surety that this is going to help people, you know? Yeah. I mean, and I've said this before, I'm going to be 65 in October. And it's the later years of my career. And to go out doing something like this, I'm so grateful. I feel blessed because it's like all these years. And not to say, I don't think what we were doing before was wrong. We just, what's the word? We just put finesse on it. We have the thing.
Yeah. I think it was also, for me, it was just finding that true path of just authenticity. You know what I mean? Like, it's coming into that place, like taking everything from the past. Like, it just, everything comes together, you know? And that's one of the things that's crazy. Like, we're finding that and seeing that. And, you know, for you and I, you know, people are like, well, I don't need to lose weight. Okay. Or I don't, you know, I'm athletic. I'm like, okay. I'm like, and so for you, Susan, let me get your opinion on that. When I came into this, and when we launched this last year, I was not a not healthy person.
Right.
You were not a not healthy person. We were both pretty dang good. I mean, we were in the top percentile of statistics when it comes to blood and everything.
Absolutely.
But there were still things that were off. Like as much as we tried, there was still things. And I can identify things for me now, but for people that are out there, that have maybe done a shred or 3 shreds or 5 shreds, or they're looking at something like where you and I come in and I'm like, okay, here I am, I'm an ultramarathon. I'm obviously, in peak shape, you're doing your thing. Why would somebody like us want to do something like the ErShred? What does make it so different? I know you touched on some of the things, and the second part to that question. So why would we do it first off? The second part is, if you will, why does somebody want to keep doing this and keep making these kind of choices that we teach them as part of this lifestyle approach?
Well, bottom line, because you deserve it. It's like leveling up your life. And whether you're in perfect condition, just the pieces of this, not eating processed foods, eliminating the culprits, taking down, there are a lot of people, they look great, they feel okay, but they're inflamed. You're getting rid of that. It's healthy aging. It's easy. It's good for the environment. There's just a million reasons why, to me, I don't get that, because to me, it's like, okay, if I feel amazing, I want to level up. Aren't you the same way?
I personally am, yes.
Yes. So, well, let me do more. If one's good, more is better. And this is so balanced and so easy for people and so simple.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't want to dive too deep into this, but I do want to touch on it real quick. Do you feel that the people that do it and jump back right away to other ways, I feel that those types of people need a little bit more additional work on their own inner self versus so much, like, it's not necessarily a program failing, it's the mindset failing, right? I know for me, like, I've done that to myself a billion times, and with cleansing and shredding, and you got to identify what it is that is holding you back. Like, what makes you turn back to that? Why do you feel so good and then you self-sabotage knowing that you're personally going to feel like poo-poo?
And again, I believe that's part of the journey, because, a lot of people use food for a lot of different reasons, as you well know. I mean, I struggle with this. Well, I want to have this, like I want to celebrate. And then I have to remember, no, I don't feel good when I have that. So it's walking yourself out of belief systems, myths, habits, so it takes time. And then there are health dynamics. I did a live in the group on yeast overgrowth that can, affect people. But I'm sure we have many, many people struggling with that. And what you have to do with that is give yourself permission, keep interacting with this protocol. And over time, that's going to change for you.
Yeah.
That's going to change for you. And what keeps me, because I'm on maintenance now, but what keeps bringing me back is when I'm not even eating salads, I feel better. So even though I'm addicted to salads, I'm like working that out, because I'm like, well, I feel better when I don't eat them. Crazy. Yeah.
It is pretty nuts. I mean, for me, I always say this, but I think it's still worth kind of putting it out there. But, you and I had a conversation today, Susan, and we were talking about how we're just so fed up with symptoms. We're so fed up with, what's happened over time. And again, when I state this, like, I am very pro Western medicine. I think people need to, like, you'd be stupid, right? Like, I mean, the advances we've made, the heart replay. I mean, when we need that stuff and it's time, like, okay, whatever. But I feel what my personal journey is to share with people that the root cause is the root cause, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether we're talking about cancer, autoimmune disease, or ADHD, or high blood pressure, or cholesterol, or whatever. Like, can you, like, explain to people that might not know, how does something like chronic inflammation that starts off with like, whatever, and it's left alone and it's built up, how does that then, what does that turn into? And then what does that turn into? I want people to understand. Can we trace that pathway for them so they can get a visual of how it works?
Well, it's actually very simple because it's like when I talked about that ABC, right? Activate, build, cleanse. That's how the body comes to balance. That's how the body heals itself. That's how conditions get better. Okay. So let's say you have digestive issues and you
Yep.
go to a doctor and you're put on a purple pill. That blocks your utilization of food, can clog up your coronary vessels. So it starts this cascade. So symptom management can start with something really simple. And then you're down this track of high cholesterol, high blood pressure, inflammation just keeps going. Instead of taking a minute and saying, okay, wait a second now, let me think, is there anything seriously, these people went to school. Like, what are you eating? What's your lifestyle like? Are you under stress? And trying those types of things first, we would see much less chronic disease, inflammation. A lot of people, they're just looking for a pill and then they're down this rabbit hole instead of taking a moment and letting the body heal. And mainstream medicine is guilty of that, but also we are, because you've had, Jesse, I'm sure you've had people tell you, oh, I don't want to do that. I just want a quick fix. Right? Yeah. So inflammation sets the stage for everything. And what people don't understand is, let's say it's something simple like heartburn and you're put on a purple pill. That starts an inflammatory cascade right there because it takes your stomach out of balance. So it's like, what's the saying? There's no free lunch. Like you can't get out of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's personal responsibility and demanding better for yourself.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. And I had a point and I'm trying to remember. Oh, you said something that struck with me when I went through IIN and did that part. They had said, every medical professional that came on to teach us that was trained in Western medicine, but then was like, wait a minute, my patients aren't getting better. Like, what the hell's going on? They did more study. They took a different route, and now they combine the two to where it's needed, which I think is a great balance. They can work hand in hand, and one can help the other. The problem is there's a lot of gray area, right, when it comes to money, and we're not going to dive down there, but holy smokes, is that like controlled? So people need to step up. And what I love about the ErShred, every professional that taught us, Susan, they said, health coaches are the future. And you basically, in your practice of what you do today, you're a health coach. Like, you actually spend the time and that's what people don't.
Yes.
The way that medicine's set up, it's not even a doctor's fault, honestly,
right,
with how fast they have to see somebody, how slammed they are. I want you to think of all the preventable disease that we are pumping into the healthcare system, and we're clogging up the pediatrician office. We're clogging up and we're weighing these people down because, quite frankly, we're either taking the lazy route, we're, making bad choices, whatever the case is. So it's not necessarily their fault. So we have to kind of take responsibility in a way and seek out these things. And what I love is when I say that the culture, the ErShred group, by the way, which is free, www.ershredders.com. When I say that I hope people don't take it for granted, I just need them to understand they're actually getting real life health coaching in such a fun way, in such a dynamic way from real life experience and professionals. And I mean, that is where, like, it's nutso. Like, I mean, you could easily pay $4,000 to $6,000 for a 4-month health coaching program.
Absolutely.
And this is something that, you know what I mean, anybody can kind of just dive into. And we're teaching people, instead of going to pay for a service, which is what I love, where you're going there thinking, okay, I need to be told what to do. What we've done instead, Susan, is we flipped the script, right? We don't need to tell you what to eat. We don't need to tell you need to find out what the frick your body is jiving with and what's going to ultimately make you feel the best. And down the road, that's what you're going to continue to choose, right, Susan, for the sole purpose, because and only because it makes you feel euphoric and jazzed up every day.
Right.
For no other reason. Like,
yeah.
All the other stuff is like the added benefit. Like, okay, great. You want to look good naked. You want to feel good naked. You want to look good when you put on a tight dress. You want to feel good when you're with other people, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Whatever it might be.
Hey, I want to touch on something real quick. Our good friend Stacy asked a question, and I know a lot of people deal with this, and we're going to not dive too deep into this, Stace, but I'm going to free you from this. She said, I'll put it up on the screen, trying to figure out where I'm going wrong. First of all, you're not. The first shred was amazing, and the second and the third, I haven't had that euphoric feeling of significant energy. I suffer with depression, anxiety, and PTSD. You want to stab that?
I'm going to let you have that because, that statement, when I see things like this, then I have tons of questions.
Yeah, I have tons of questions too, but I'm going to stab it like this. One,
okay.
Who diagnosed you? Who gave you that title is what I would first ask you. And do you believe that you are that title? I believe that healing deals with, number one, self-belief. If you don't believe it, you can't achieve it. So number one, who gave you the title that you're a depression and you're a anxiety and you're now again, I don't know the situation you suffered from, so excuse me. I have to talk to you personally, but this is a general thing. Ask yourself that question first, put yourself in that place. Secondly, you can't see what's going on the inside. And right away, when you make a sudden shift, like stripping all the poison and only putting in the good, your body's going to react to that. But your body's the most magnificent thing that's ever been created. And honey, you spent years getting to the place that you're at. So you need to be real and you need to be honest with yourself. Because you've had those feelings, you don't know what your body has to do on the inside to heal in order for you to then release and get better. And that's the beautiful thing. And why do we want to keep going, Susan? Because we got to real. We got to stop this shit of take a quick pill and get fixed. We got to stop it. Like Susan and I are done with it. We're done with it. Like we don't want to be part of that community anymore. It doesn't work like that, right, Susan? There is no such thing. It takes time. And you might not have, you're looking for this. I just did a live video about this. Spent over 90 hours in my house stripping it. Majority of that time was stripping the old to then put a new surface on the new. A quarter of the time was spent putting on the new. 3/4 of the time was spent stripping the old. Mm-hmm. People need to get that freaking concept in their head and they will free themselves, because you keep fueling yourself. Let me ask you this. Ask yourself this question. This is a good question, right, Susan? People should ask themselves, let's say that you're going through this shred and you stumble and you're not feeling the way that you should. Are you going to get more benefit from continuing to dump nutritious, nutrient-dense vitamins, minerals, and nutrients in your body every day, which we know feeds new cells and decreases inflammation and allows the body to then heal itself? Notice I said the body heals itself, right? We're fueling the body. Or do you get pissed off and say, oh, that's it, I failed again? And then you start eating carbs and pizza and sugar and flour and all the other shit that put you in this place in the first place. I can't make that decision for you, but Susan, I think I know what you and I would go for.
Yeah. Right. And that's a process. And that's a process when you're dealing with things like anxiety and PTSD. So, you have to be gentle with yourself. And I can relate to this when I had my health crisis and I was in full-blown adrenal fatigue because I was depressed. I was anxious. I used to, before I got my head off the pillow, I would say, I can't wait till this day is over. If I worked out, I was in bed for 2 days. I mean, I was not well, anxious, depressed, all of that. And it was a process. And I had to I had to trust in what I was doing. It was very similar to what we're doing here, protein pacing, different things that we do. I don't know what what this person is doing. I'm happy to have a chat about it, but, putting it in the framework of I'm getting better every day. I'm nurturing myself. And this is a form of self-care. And over time, that's going to carry you. And of course, you've got all of us.
Yeah, you got all of us for sure. I would say this to you, Stacy. She did post again. I'm not going to. This isn't the right place to spill all that. I would highly recommend that you reach out to a person named Nicole Hayes, and she will absolutely be able to connect with you. And she is somebody who's in the same place, literally the same place, and she is thriving. And she's the most giving. That's the beautiful thing about this community is we have somebody for everybody. My hard ass might not be the best person for you. I would say Nicole is definitely going to be your girl for sure. Susan, what else do you want to touch on tonight, hon? Because we're coming to our time. Is there any other big points? I know we wanted to touch on stop chalking it up to the symptoms. Stop treating the symptoms and treat the root cause. The root cause is fueling your body with peak performance, like the ErShred is teaching you to do. Thinking bigger picture. Don't overcomplicate shit. What else?
Well, I always love as we walk into cleanse days for the emotional. Like, what do you want to, this is a great segue. So what do you want to shred? Is it anxiety? Is it negative self-talk that hurts you? Is it, picking on yourself, whatever it might be? What do you want to shred? And carry that with you in your cleanse days with this energy of reverence for your body and self-care. It's a powerful mindset to walk through your cleanse days because you never know what's going to come up. And, along with the physical body, so does our emotional body. And that's basically it, to just be mindful,
Yeah. That was such a beautiful thing. I'll share something to end this here. I'm going into my 42nd birthday this weekend, September 18th, 4 days from now. And I got to tell you, Susan, and it's because of people like you. And I want you to take this. Don't look down or anything. Look at me, because you never take anything. People like you that have always just kind of looked past the surface. We all make mistakes. We all do dumb shit in life. And I feel like I've definitely had my ups and downs and backs and forths. And even in this business itself. And, there's been a few people, you and Sean and a handful of others that have just kind of always remained and always just believed. And we've kind of always vibed. And I can't express enough gratitude to you for linking arms and going on this journey with me. I can't express enough gratitude for being a part of this community. This is something that fills my soul so much, and I know it does you too. Yeah. I finally have been able to. It's taken 42 years. A lot of that was self-inflicted. Some of it just happened like everybody else. But I think I finally have been able to shed that shell of the past to fully let go. I think I've pretended for so long, and I've hid behind these different masks of masculinity and all these things that I thought others needed to see and hear. And now I'm at this beautiful point where it's just like, fuck it all. Like, excuse my like, life is such a beautiful thing. The more I just do what I've learned and give back and just put others first and live from that place of knowing that whether somebody likes the approach or likes me or not is irrelevant. It's not my opinion. As long as I'm doing my best and being better than I can the day before. And people like you have helped me get to this point. And I can't thank you enough for being that person for me. I need strong people in my life. We all do. And for you, you're one of those close people that I keep in that close circle that just means so much to me. And I wanted to share that with you.
Thank you, Jesse. I adore you. And, the ErShred, a lot of these people have become my family now. And I have new brothers and I have new sister and I have so many people I'm not going to name because there's so many people I adore. But it's what we said earlier. And it's for all of us. And this is why we're connecting like this. We're coming home. home, dropping the bullshit, the facade. This group is raw and real. It's authentic. Everyone shows up just as they are. There's no, what's the word I want? There's no posturing. There's no, well, I'm sure there's egos, but there's not a lot of ego. We're just here, everyone, all these helpers.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it makes me so emotional, because isn't this the way we want the world to be? And how did we get where we are?
Yeah.
And so we're shredding all of that shit.
Yeah.
And I have to share with you this week, so powerful. There's this guy in our practice that he was an ex-Marine, and he developed thyroid problems. And then he's just on his own. He'll send me texts like once a week.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a different meaning for everybody. And for me, it's again, a lot of stuff I did, self-inflicted, bad choice, it'd be blah, 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 blah. Right. But it's
too. I'm in recovery.
To know that this is impact, like truly without any bullshit, without any, I mean, if somebody says yes and just does it, like, I know it's going to change their life. If they stick with us, it's going to drastically change their life. If they just commit to it, they're going to be family. And to know that you can just have something like that to be a part of and give, like, it just feels good. For me, it just feels good, because it feels like my payback, my repayment, for all my shit.
And plus, you're blessed. You're blessed with that feeling of these people coming alive, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a cool thing. All right, friend, listen, I always appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on last minute. I hope you guys found value. If you know somebody that didn't catch it, please tag them. Let us know. Post into the comments. Let us know what did you take away from this. What one or two things, that's what I would suggest. What one or two things did you pull from this? How are you going to apply it to your life? And how are you going to act on it to make your life a different life than it was today, tomorrow, the next day versus tomorrow? That's what we want to see. That's lifestyle growth. That's bigger picture. Health is the seed that blossoms into everything else, friends. And that's really what we want you guys to see. So we love you all. Make sure you join us tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, for the Shred Your Testimonial call. It's always holding back tears, because there's so many amazing stories of people that have just had ridiculous transformations, and you could be like that too. Make sure you join us Thursday for Shred Your Body call. Share, blah, blah, blah. I can't speak, Susan. Share the Shred call. And every Tuesday, I got another epic guest lined up. I got it. This is more for the athlete, fitness, epic side next week. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm so excited about this. But we'll catch you all on the flip side. Hope you all have an amazing night. For those of you that are shredding, don't stop. Do it for yourself. You freaking deserve it.
We're all closing together.
ErShredders.com. Peace out. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.